It's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in now. As you can see, I'm just trying to sort my hair out under the hat. As you can see, it's freezing here in Spain. It is currently 8 degrees, but literally when I popped out earlier to the supermarket, look, I've even got my gloves on, it was 4 degrees. It was so cold. Because, as you know, if you watch my channel regularly, I don't have any central heating in my house, so just have to wrap up warm. I've got some plug-in heaters which are out now, but they're expensive with the old electricity, so I try not to put them on if I can. I try and layer up instead. But I've got to admit, it is pretty freezing this morning. So I've got a nice black coffee with a little snifter of whiskey. That's the Spanish way, just try and warm myself up. I hope it works. Oh, yeah, really is quite chilly today. Even the dogs have got their jumpers on now. So in this video, we're going to talk about Samantha Murphy, and we're all waiting with bated breath, aren't we? There are searches going on. I mean, I think there's been on and off searches ever since this lady disappeared. A long time ago now. A long time ago, not last February, but the February before. So we're coming up to 2 years that this poor lady went out for a morning jog and just never came back. In the meantime, of course, Patrick Stevenson, a young Australian man, the golden Australian boy. But anyway, he was arrested for her murder, charged with murder, even though there is no body yet. Now, some people are saying, oh, well, he shouldn't be in prison if there's nobody, maybe he's innocent. The police haven't arrested Patrick just on a whim. They've arrested him because they've got enough evidence to prosecute him, whether they find the body or not. But of course, if they find Samantha's remains, that's a win-win situation, not only for the court case, but also for a family who get a chance to actually put her to rest properly. Because it is, the police are making creating no illusions in their opinion. Samantha is dead. She was deliberately targeted by this boy. And then, as I said, they're saying that for a reason. But they cannot release any information until the trial. I can't wait for this trial because when all the information comes out, it's like with the Erin Patterson trial, the mushroom murderess. That when all the information comes out, you think, oh my God, it's like they've got enough information to charge him. I think enough evidence to charge him anyway. Well, they've already charged him to convict him, but they need, as I say, Samantha's remains need to be found, both to help the case, but also, and I think more importantly, in a way. This family, she was married with 3 children, one child really quite young, and they deserve to at least be able to put their mum to rest, not have to worry, where she is. She's just lying out there somewhere, discarded like a dirty hanky or something. So, yeah. That's what we're going to be talking about, is what progress, if any, has been made and what we can expect. I'm going to do a little bit of waffle first, as I always do. First of all, I'm going to say my thank yous. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much for super chats. I've been sent some super chats lately, and Ko-fis, etc., that people have sent me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. In fact, I'm going to put my little thank you video on there. It's much appreciated. It just helps my channel to keep going, helps my, with the costs of running the channel, etc. But not only that, it always makes me feel that if people appreciate me like that, they must be enjoying what I do, because sometimes, it is hard covering true crime. I mean, it's something I'm interested in anyway. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but the thing is, but sometimes it weighs heavy on your soul. Sometimes some of the cases, I'm a person who tends to sort of think about them a lot, even when I'm not on stream, etc. Worry about the families and that's just the way I am. So it can weigh hard on your soul, if that makes sense. And sometimes you just after I think yesterday I had a break from streaming. Sometimes I want to just watch something silly and switch off a bit. I'm lucky I can do that. Of course, the families of these victims that we talk about, they can't do that. That is their real life. Can't just switch it off and put some comedy on or something to make them laugh and help them forget. So that's basic. I think the main, and sometimes I challenge myself, why do I even do this? Why do I do it? And I do think it's important these people are not forgotten. Like Samantha must not be forgotten. Even beyond, I mean, she won't be forgotten by her family and friends, of course, but all the victims need to be remembered in one way or another, isn't it? It's almost every time you speak their name, then at least they're sort of still alive in one sense or another, and people care about them. So yeah, thank you. And special thank you to my members, special thank you to people who send me nice emails or contribute to my channel in any positive way. Thank you so much. Now then, I think I'll say hello to people first as well before I do it. I'm going to do a little bit of waffle, but it is pertinent to this case, I think. So it's not complete waffle. But anyway, hi, lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. I hope you're all well. Hi, you replay crew. Thank you for caring about Samantha, for watching my channel. Hope everybody is well, and it'll soon be December, and then we'll be gearing up to Christmas, which, as I've said, is not always fun for everyone, is it? But we'll make it fun, whatever the circumstances. We'll talk about serious things as always with the crime, but I try and make it fun as well too, because Christmas is supposed to be it's got a powerful message, isn't it? The message of Christmas. And I don't mean the Christmas shopping and all that kind of thing. I'm talking about the message of the real Christmas, and we'll be trying to focus in on that, goodwill to all men and women, of course. So, now let's just see who's brave enough to come into the chat. We've got Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Hope you're well. Have you watched The Grinch? Hi, Blue. I hope you're well and gearing up to Christmas, Australian style. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, just before I get into Samantha's this search for Samantha that's going on at the moment, and just let you know what the police have said so far. I just wanted to talk because, interestingly enough, I don't know who knows, or who of you out there know or don't know. I mean, if you're in Australia, you will know who the Prime Minister of Australia is. And the Prime Minister of Australia is Anthony Albanese. And he's just got married. And I think he's the first Australian Prime Minister to actually get married while he's in office. And he's a very interesting guy. So here he is with his new wife. He's been married once before to a politician. He's been a politician forever. He's been married before. Oh, it's a video. Let's have a look. Oh. Oh. No, there's something about a wedding. I normally cry at weddings. I'm not so cynical as people think. I believe in marriage and things like that and romance. Just doesn't always work out, does it? Oh, that looks really nice. So, as I say, he's been married before. I think he looks like he's punching a bit above his weight there. She's a very attractive girl. I'm not saying he's not attractive. But anyway, she's been his partner for 5 years, Josie Hayden, and they got married in a private ceremony at the Lodge, which is the PM's official residence in Canberra. I hope the Australian public didn't pay for the wedding. Anyway, he's the first Australian Prime Minister to wed while he's in office. And the wedding plans, including the date and location, were kept top secret due to potential security and disruption concerns. So apparently he proposed to this lady on Valentine's Day this year, 2025, and she accepted. But of course, then there was elections coming up in the May. So he wasn't, apparently he was planning to take her on a very long honeymoon. But of course, then it all changed because he got voted in. I think it was a landslide victory, I believe. A landslide victory. He's a Labour politician. Labour were voted in quite resoundingly, and he is now the Prime Minister. So he can't take a month off for a honeymoon. So apparently they were married by a celebrant from North South Wales Central Coast, and they wrote their own vows. We're absolutely delighted to share our love and commitment to spending our future lives together in front of our family and closest friends. Now, it's quite oh, look, that's the bridesmaid and his dog. It's sweet, isn't it? There is something about a wedding, you know, no matter what you think about marriage, etc. It is sweet, isn't it? It is sweet. Oh, apparently she realised that she was in love with the Prime Minister. He had a car accident and he was quite ill. Look, Riley's trying to photobomb. Let's have a look at Riley. Oh, look, you don't want another dog, do you? No, look, you can't have them all looking at that other dog. You want him to look at you. He would be good at a wedding as well. I have to find someone to marry because he's white, completely white as well. Yeah, he's getting dog envy there. He doesn't want that other dog taking all the limelight, do you? Yes, you can be my... what would you be? My groomsman. If I ever find anyone crazy enough to want to marry me, you can be my groomsman, can't you? Yeah, or you can give me away. You wouldn't have to wear an outfit because you're already pure white like this little doggy. Yeah, so apparently he had a bad car accident or something. That's when she realised she loved him because she was so scared that something might happen to him, apparently. So I just wanted to show you that because it's pertinent in the sense of it's Australia. Oh, look, there they are. Is that his son? Yeah, that's his son, Nathan, to his first marriage. Now, I've got a lot of Australian followers. I'm sure you'll let me know whether you think Mr. Albanese is a good Prime Minister, a bad Prime Minister, or maybe you think, oh, we'll wait and see. Look, this is typical Australian fashion, I think. Guests were served beer in custom cans made by Willie the Boatman, an inner West Sydney brewery. It's sweet, isn't it? Cans of beer with their photos on. Sod the champagne. This is Australia. We're having beer. All expenses related to this event are being paid for privately by Mr. Albanese and Miss Hayden. So let's hope so. And the Prime Minister and Miss Hayden will go on a honeymoon in Australia from Monday till Friday of next week. Now, you might say, should he be going on a honeymoon when he's Prime Minister? I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, they're only in Australia. They're not going abroad. And it's only from Monday to Friday. So he's having a week off. So plans for the wedding had been put on hold until after the May election. Mr. Albanese also revealed in June that the couple had planned to honeymoon for 2 months had he not been reinstalled as Prime Minister. And instead, the couple is expected to limit their honeymoon to about 2 weeks. I thought it was just Monday to Friday. You can't go on honeymoon for 2 weeks when you're Prime Minister. Sorry, you just can't. You know, don't be Prime Minister if you want to go on honeymoon for 2 weeks. Or wait until after. But anyway, that's my opinion. I think Monday to Friday, well, fair enough. Let him have a few. Really, they should just be having a weekend away. He is the Prime Minister of Australia. Anyway, never mind. Don't matter what I think. I'm not even Australian, but I'll be interested to see those of you out there. As I say, I've got a lot of Australian followers. Let me know what you think of him. Should he be able to have 2 weeks honeymoon even though he's Prime Minister? Nah, not in my opinion. You know, you don't be Prime Minister if you want to take 2 weeks off arbitrarily like that. But anyway. So, I mean, of course, the honeymoon could have waited. Do they have recess like we do in Britain? There's like a recess in the summer. He could have waited till then, couldn't he? Anyway, never mind. The other thing that I just wanted to say about Mr. Albanese is I don't know if anybody, you know, obviously if you're in Australia, you'll know. But if you're in another country, did you know that in Australia, one of the big things this guy and his government have done already is they are banning social media to under 16s. What do you think about that? I mean, it's a bold thing to do, isn't it? You know, thanks, Bluebell, for your information there. They have a break at Christmas and they have a recess. Yeah. Hi, Angel. Yeah, no, you know, exactly. Everyone's entitled to a break, but you know, if you're the Prime Minister, it's different, isn't it, than if you work in, I don't know, any other job really. That you know, this is a job that's, anyway, Prime Minister, President, all that. They could have waited and got married and had their honeymoon, you know, if they wanted a longer one. But a few days break, as I say, it could have been a weekend, couldn't it? It's a sacrifice that you have to make. Either you want to be Prime Minister or you don't. You know, if you don't want to have your life sort of controlled by Parliament and stuff like that, don't be Prime Minister. He wanted to be Prime Minister. Anyway, I'm not against him. You know, he seems like a decent sort of guy. But this thing that he's brought in, I'd like to know what people think of it. And would you like to see it in your particular country? So, you know, all the social media, of course, there's been so many tragedies concerned with young people because of social media, haven't they? Bullying, young people taking their own lives. I mean, there are sort of, you know, channels out there and apps and things where they tell you how to take your own life. You know, and the thing is, under 16s have been accessing these things. And then, you know, anyway, so the idea is that social media is detrimental to young people. And I sort of agree with it up to a point. And of course, there's been a lot of conflict against it from young people, mainly because young people love their social media, don't they? And they don't all go on social media looking for dark things, you know, but, you know, there's these eating disorder sort of channels, and it is horrible, actually. And you're sort of relying on the young people to police themselves, or parents to try and do it, but it's virtually impossible to control what social media your child goes on. I would say it's pretty impossible, really. So, they're going to go on and they're going to see the good things, because there are good things too about social media that I'm going to read out to you in a minute what, the people that are against it say. And then other people, you might say I think what the opposers to this is, so what the young people who want their social media back, well, it's not been taken away yet, but it will be. They're saying, don't blame us, blame the social media giants like your TikTok and your Instagram and your YouTube or whatever. They should control more the content that goes out. And I agree with that. They should stop the content going out in the first place. That's the ideal solution. But the problem is, it's so difficult to do. So I think the reason they're doing this personally is because it's easier to do this. I suppose people will have to verify their age. But then these actual very dark channels and things, they shouldn't be there, should they? Why should they even be there for an adult to look at? It's not very nice for an adult to look at. An adult might have suicidal ideation and then find these things. Hi, Marcos. Oh, that's an interesting point that you make. And the same for me. When I was young, we didn't have social media, but people still did. Young people still did take their own lives. So I think being a teenager especially, maybe not so much. I think there are younger and younger people taking their own lives now. I don't know that very young children, under the age of 16. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I'd have to actually look at the statistics. But yeah, teenagers definitely have always, because being a teenager is a difficult time and always has been. I even, when I was at university, I was reading about Plato, the Republic, and Plato, the philosopher from, centuries ago. Complaining about teenagers and how teenagers were this and teenagers were that. And, they've always been the same, because puberty has this catastrophic effect, doesn't it? I mean, it really does have a catastrophic effect, puberty. And some people survive it and some people don't survive it. And as you say, it's always been like that, and it always will be like that, whether you've got social media or not. I do feel, though, maybe now younger and younger people, I feel that when I was young, we were really quite innocent. Now they don't seem to be. They're carrying knives around. They're getting into different things than we used to get into. So I don't know. Yeah, you should have to prove your ID, I think. Yes, and this is a problem, Bluebell. What you're saying is, young people, they're going to have their tablets and things, phones, for education purposes anyway. So, it'd be interesting to see how will it work. How will it work? So I just want to show you. So it's just an interesting thing that I just wanted to talk about, because it's likely that if it's happened in Australia, there will be other countries that will try and do it. But the government are adamant that they're going to do this, even though there has been a backlash. Of course, there'll be a lot of people that agree with it, and there'll be a lot of people that don't agree with it. But this is what these are two teenagers. They look like older teenagers, don't they? I presume they're under 16. But maybe 16 is too old. Maybe it should be from 12 or something like that. I don't know. But I do think it's more, to me, it's more dangerous for very young children than it is, because, as you say, older teenagers, they will find a way as well. They'll find a way. If they want to look at something online, they'll find a way. They'll go on their mum's or dad's tablets or use their accounts, or, I think for younger children it might help. But anyway, so this is what they say: ban the harmful content from social media instead of us. And I think there's a case for that. Noah Jones and Macy Nayland argue that the ban disregards the rights of children, and social media companies and the Australian government should be using their resources to remove predators and harmful content from platforms rather than banning under 16s. And I do think there's a big case for that. I do think the social media companies get away literally with murder, because I've reported many things that I've seen on social media that I thought that have upset me when I because you come a problem with things like TikTok and those, as you're scrolling down, same with X really, you're scrolling down and they just come up, you might not even, you're not looking for it. I don't know why they come up, sometimes things that come up on TikTok, oh my God, especially sometimes things about animals and stuff. And I just honestly got to find it really distressing. I've, caught by accident videos that have upset me for days afterwards. And that's me as a grown woman, what you might refer to as an elderly woman, really, never mind a child. So I do think they need to have, and then they'll demonetize me for something. I don't know. I never, ever put anything like that on, and yet. And then when I report these things, they always come back and say, oh, we couldn't find anything wrong with our content and blah, 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 blah. I don't think I've ever been successful in getting a video taken down. So they say they should be using their resources to remove predators and harmful content from platforms rather than banning under 16s. And it's true, it should be a safe place to navigate, not only for under 16s, but for me. I don't want to see these videos. So from the 10th of December, so not long to go actually, social media firms, including Meta, TikTok and YouTube, must ensure that young Australians cannot hold accounts on their platforms. And campaigners and the government say the law is necessary to protect children from harmful content and algorithms that can promote it to users. But the policy is being challenged in the nation's High Court by two 15-year-olds, backed by a rights group who say it robs them of their right to free communication. So let me know what you think. Just interesting, isn't it? Bluebell seems to think it won't work. Yeah, I think you're right, Marcos. I think, there's a big, what can I say? There seems to have been this disconnect, isn't it, with children? I don't know. I'm just thinking, I say when I was young, I've said many times, we did do naughty things. We knocked on doors and ran away. We used to phone people out of the phone book. Just ridiculous. We'd find a famous surname in the phone book at the telephone kiosk. There was always a Yellow Pages, not a Yellow Pages, a phone book. So we'd look through it and find a famous surname and phone up and ask for that. So like I've said it before on stream, we phoned up this guy once, so it was my turn to do it. I mean, I can't even remember how old I was. I was probably about 9 or something. I can't see that I was much older. And we saw Nightingale. So we looked up Nightingale, found a phone number with a surname Nightingale, and I rang up this old man, or he was just an old man, answered, and I said, oh, is Florence there? I mean, this was us being naughty when I was a kid. That was the naughty things that we would do. But this poor guy, he went, oh, no, there's no one called Florence. He said, my sister was called Florence, but she's passed away. I was like, oh, my God, I felt guilty about it for ages. I still feel guilty, bless him. And I just went, oh, right, okay. So it was an innocent prank, but, when he said that, I just felt horrible, but that was the sort of thing we would do. So we'd look up I don't know, what's a famous sort of surname. You might look up Lennon and ask if John was there, or but that was before John died. I was just thinking about it now. God, we probably upset loads of people. I only remember that particular one because of the guy saying that his sister was called Florence, but she died. So, they're just daft things that kids do. But yeah, we didn't wander around with bloody machetes and things like that. And that started, I can remember, I lived on a council estate until I was in my 20s. And I saw that council estate change, how it became, and it was glue sniffing. One minute, I'm not, I say we were naughty. We used to do this, knocking on doors, running away. We probably stole sweets from the sweet shop and things like that. But, we didn't do anything mega, nothing violent, ever, anything violent. And then suddenly all the kids were, as I got older, of course, I wasn't a kid anymore. All the teenagers were hanging around sniffing glue, smoking marijuana. Drugs just took over completely. But glue sniffing, I particularly remember. And that's when all the vandalism started. That's when they started robbing old people in their houses. Literally, you didn't have to lock your door when I was young because, but then sort of as time went on, people got older, so there's a lot of old people along our road, living on their own, being vulnerable. And that's when the burglaries started and all that sort of thing. I can remember watching it change, and my dad, he was paranoid about getting broken into. God, we couldn't even get in our house. That's honestly just... he used to hate it because I used to go out all the time, obviously, when I was young, and he'd hate it. And you'd come home and I'd try and get in the door, and all the locks would be on. There'd be about 10 locks on the inside of the door. It'd take about 10 minutes to open them all up. The windows were nailed down. And I would say to him, how would we get out if there was a fire? It's just like... But he was so scared, if you like, or worried about being broken into. And he got worse, obviously, as he got older, because my dad was a person, he would go out and challenge someone if they were doing something wrong. And I've had to call him back in quite a few times because, when he was young, he was a big, strong guy. He was in the Navy, very broad. And but, he didn't realise, as we don't, as he was getting older, to go out and challenge a big gang of young lads who may even have a knife is not a good idea. My dad would do that. Anyway, so let me know what you think. Is it a good idea to ban social media to under 16s, or do you think it won't make any difference? I mean, the proof will be in the pudding if they ban it for a year. I don't know if there's any change in statistics or whatever of young people taking their own lives or whatever. Now, the thing is, these young people are saying that although there are problems with social media, it also brings so much good. Education, communication, inclusion with society. I mean, these days relationships are conducted through social media, aren't they? And so they say the ban would impact their relationships and particularly their sources of knowledge about politics. Democracy doesn't start at 16, as this law says it will, they said. So the case has been filed in the High Court on Wednesday, but the government so far, the Communications Minister, Annika Wells, has told the Australian Parliament the government will not be swayed. We will not be intimidated by threats. We will not be intimidated by legal challenges. We will not be intimidated by big tech. And on behalf of Australian parents, we will stand firm. So apparently, according to polls, though, the ban is supported by most Australian adults. but some mental health advocates say it may cut children off from connections with peers, but others say it could push youngsters to even less regulated corners of the internet. So at the end of the day, just like everything else, it's not a slam dunk issue, is it? It's a complex issue. There are lots of facets to it. As and I've always said, social media isn't all bad. It isn't all bad, is it? At the end of the day, there's a lot of good things about social media. So that's where we are with that. So I just wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to talk about that because it's Australia and that's where we're going to look into how's this search going. So we've been praying along with Samantha's family, a lot of people. Gosh, I'm going to take my hat off because I'm actually getting warm. So I've got hat hair now. Because I had the hat on, I didn't really bother doing my hair. So I've got hat hair flattened down, but I'm warming up a little bit. That's be the whiskey in my coffee probably. Now we're going to look, how are they progressing? Now, apparently, the police have said, law enforcement have said, as far as Sam's concerned, they're determined to find her one way or another, and they're doing these targeted searches. That's how they refer to them, targeted searches. Now, they've apparently made a resolution to find her. I mean, nobody, apart from Mick and the family, nobody will be more keen, if you like, to find Sam than law enforcement. They were very jubilant when they found her telephone. So let's have a look at this resolution, Val. So they started on Wednesday. I think they've done 2 full days now. And so are they going to carry on over the weekend? I hope so. So they're searching this particular area. There must be a reason. So, they won't say what the reason is. They say they can't comment too much because it is an ongoing investigation. So they carried out a targeted... Oh, sorry, excuse me. One sec. Come on. In. Shush. In. Come on. Sí. Paquete correo. Muy bien, gracias. Es tu primer día. Muy bien. Mucha suerte con tu trabajo. Adiós, gracias. Adiós. Sorry about that. You can be sure, can't you? As soon as that's a delivery. Hey. Trying to get the dogs in the bathroom so I can open the door without them running out. Anyway, it was really quite sweet because the guy, well, it doesn't matter what's in it, but the guy was with his son and I said, oh, can you bring it up the stairs, please? So the little boy, wasn't that little, it makes me sound like I'm making him do child labour, but he wasn't that little. He was about 9. Come up the stairs with this box. And he said, oh, es mi primer día de repartir. It's my first delivery day. So, little sweetheart. If I would have known it was going to be him, I would have given him €1 or something, but I've got nothing to, or some sweets or something. Anyway, never mind. So delivery is done. Just typical, isn't it? I could sit here all day, not doing the stream, no, my delivery would not come. And then the moment that get on the stream or go in the shower or start doing something, have a nap, ding, ding dong. And I always tell them not to ring the bell, but they never take any notice. But anyway, never mind. So where was I? Right. Oh, that's right. So I was reading this. So they carried out a targeted search of Enfield State Park, about 30 kilometres south of Ballarat, where the mum was last seen on Wednesday. Nothing new was found during Thursday's search, but officers are expected to be out again on Friday. Now, as far as I know, they didn't find anything Friday either. Well, they haven't said that they did. So we have to wait. I'm sure if they find anything, as soon as it's confirmed, and they have to speak to the family first, of course, as well. There'll be a press conference or something. There'll be some statement. I am just longing for that day, honest to God, and as I'm sure anyone who's been interested in this case, this poor woman, she was just out for a run. She was doing the most normal of normal things on a Sunday, looking forward to a nice Sunday with her family. They were going to have a brunch. She was training for some sort of marathon type thing. She, went out, cleared up after her dog. Off she went on her jog and disappeared into thin air. And she has never been seen again, except by Patrick Stevenson or whoever did whatever they did to her. And some people think, was anybody else involved in helping him hide the body? It's possible, isn't it? We don't know. Though the police have specified. Hi, Steve. The police have specified that nobody else was involved, but the police do lie. They can lie when it comes to investigations. At the end of the day, their duty is to the victim and the victim's family, and to secure a conviction for a crime. Their duty is not to tell the truth to the public. I mean, that's just the way it is. And if they say, oh, we don't think anybody else is involved, that could be because they're trying to put somebody's mind at ease who was involved and knows they were involved. So in some ways, we can't take what the police say to heart, because they did say, of course, for quite a long time after Samantha went missing, they did say there were no suspicious circumstances, but they must have always known that there were suspicious circumstances. But I think, they come out and say that, Patrick, if he's guilty, of course, we always have to say allegedly, he will have been watching the news and things, and they're aware of that. So they want to lull him into a false sense of security, or whoever the perpetrator is. Oh, no, we don't think there's anything suspicious. We think there might have been an accident. And he relaxes then. That's what they want, isn't it? That's what they want. So, yeah, it's difficult, to know if what the police say is true. But they have said they didn't think anyone else was involved. So, so this guy who's been charged, 23-year-old now, he was 22 when it happened. Golden balls, all Australian boy, Patrick Oren Stevenson, with the dad who was an NFL player, good family and everything. He's pled not guilty, and he's scheduled to appear in the Supreme Court April the 8th. It's still miles away, isn't it? It's still 5 months away, but it's coming closer. I mean, these dates, they take a long time to come, but it'll come. Like Aaron Patterson, his day of judgment will come, and then we'll find out what evidence the police have got against him. Do you know, I was thinking about Erin yesterday, unfortunately, but yesterday morning I had a little, without giving any, loads of details, because you don't need them, but my tummy was just a little bit off. I just didn't feel 100%. And I was going to go to the shop. That's why I've ended up with a package being delivered. I needed some bits and pieces, and I was going to go to the shopping centre, which is 20 minutes away. That's all. And I just, you know what it's like if you've got an upset tummy or you feel sick or anything, you don't want to go far from home, do you? Because, or anywhere you go, you got to know there's going to be a toilet there in case you feel like you want to be sick or you need to go to the toilet. And I was thinking about Erin and that day when she supposedly had, you know, a really bad tummy, and she was, you know, and she knew that her relatives were in hospital, gravely ill. And she still took her son to the flying lessons, which was an hour and a half away. An hour and a half's drive. An hour and a half there. Then she's got to hang around while he has his hour-long flying class, and then come back an hour and a half later. You know, get back, take another hour and a half to get back. And but she still went. She still went. And not only that, she badgered the guy to go. You know, it was him who cancelled it in the end, not her. And she had white trousers on, or cream-coloured trousers, when she supposedly, you know, got this terrible diarrhea. And I was thinking about, I thought, God, I don't even want to get in the car and drive 20 minutes. So I've ordered the stuff that I want on Amazon in the end, instead of going to the shopping centre for it. I don't want to drive 20 minutes there, spend 20 minutes there and drive 20 minutes coming back because I feel sick. And there's her setting off on this mega journey. I mean, I know it's Australia and distances are different, but, you know, the thing is, you've got an upset tummy. It don't matter if you're in Australia or Timbuktu. You do not go to travel great distances. You know, and it just one of those many things that told us that Erin is a total liar, isn't she? Where's my Pinocchio thing? I put it on for ages. You know, yeah, I had this terrible diarrhea, but I thought I'd make a round trip of 3-4 hours. She would have been out of the house. Anyway, just brought it home to me yesterday because that's how I felt yesterday morning, and that's why I've ended up with an Amazon package. So I thought, oh no, get them delivered here rather than me going off and getting them when I don't feel, just didn't, I mean, it's fine now, it's gone. I don't know what it was, whether I ate something or whatever. I just felt a bit, ugh. Okay. So, police have conducted numerous searches in the region since her disappearance, including the bushland of the Enfield State Park, Canadian State Forest, and Bunyinyong Bushland Reserve. Now, I think that the police, for whatever reason, they think she's in there somewhere, don't they? They keep going back. So, I think their perseverance will pay off. So don't forget, they recovered her phone from the bank of a dam near Slaughterhouse Road. That's a nice name, isn't it? On the outskirts of Ballarat. So they were successful in finding her phone. So this is where they're searching. Look at that. I mean, you know, there's like a carpet of these ferns and everything. And now we're in springtime. So, you know, when Samantha went missing, it was February, which is like summertime, isn't it, in Australia? So there would have been even more foliage. So Deputy Commissioner Regional Operations Bob Hill told the media search teams were combing the bushland. Closure is required for the family, for the loved ones. And he said the police had searched in the Ballarat area before, but to no avail. I think they will find her. I honestly think they will find her. I don't think they'll give up until they do. We will continue to focus on that investigation until we get a resolution, he said. This is another search that is based on more intelligence that would indicate we need to conduct more work in that area. Please, God, honestly, I'm praying all the time now. I mean, I was thinking about Samantha, but at the moment, with these searches going on, that I'm literally praying several times a day. We all need to pray to whoever we believe in, or at least send out some positive thoughts that this woman is found. So on Wednesday night, detectives from the Missing Persons Squad confirmed the renewed search. So they're certainly pulling out all the stops. If hopes and prayers could help to find this woman, she would be found, wouldn't she? You know, all the positive energy going out. Yeah, the family need closure. I mean, they've been through enough. Since February 2024, police have regularly undertaken a range of inquiries and small-scale searches as part of the current investigation, a statement read. We're not in a position to supply further specific details of today's operational activity at this time. Did I let my dogs out? Yeah, I did. Members of the public have been advised not to assist with the search. So you know that they're expecting to find something because they're telling the public not to help because they don't want contamination of evidence, I suppose. Let's see if we've got some videos about it. Yeah, all the media is talking about these new searches. I don't like. No, that was from a while ago. That one. I noticed when I looked on X for news about Samantha, most of the things that come up were like from me. My videos. I think I really have concentrated on this case more than any other YouTube channel. Let me just put a few windows down. I thought I had some videos ready. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if we can find. I see there's nothing within the last sort of 10 hours or whatever. They're all 2 days ago. Let's just watch them.
Detectives have conducted a new search for missing Ballarat mum Samantha Murphy, scouring dense bushland in the hope of finding her body. Live to Today Melbourne reporter Christine Ahern. Christine, what have police had to say?
Well, Joan, they're not saying too much at this stage. They're not revealing what new information has led them to this new search or whether at this stage they have uncovered any new evidence. But what we do know is that detectives from the Missing Persons Squad conducted a targeted search in the Enfield State Park yesterday. Now, the Enfield State Park is located about 25 kilometres south of Ballarat. It's about a half an hour drive from Samantha Murphy's Ballarat home, and it's also located about 5 kilometres away from the dam where her mobile phone was discovered in May last.
Yeah, so it's 5 kilometres from where the dam is, where the phone was found. I think this boy, seriously, like I think it was you, was it Musley, in the comments, someone's so young to be doing these kind of things. You just wonder, like, would he, this probably wouldn't have been the last time he would have done something like this, if he's guilty, of course, if he's guilty, allegedly. To be so young and committing these sort of crimes already, it doesn't show much hope for the future, does it? And, this guy, he is your most unlikely suspect, young, handsome guy, sporty, he's got a job, he had a girlfriend, nice family, supposedly, that he comes from. He's the last person that you would think of doing something like this. So, it just makes you wonder then, is he like some sort of fledgling serial killer? If he's guilty, I have to keep saying that. It's just, to me, I know he's innocent till he's proven guilty, but I think, especially a boy like this, the police, he won't have been arrested for nothing. The police will be pretty certain, even without a body, that they've got a strong enough case against this man. They've not just done it arrested him for the fun of it, So we'll see. When the trial comes, we'll see what evidence they've got. As far as finding the body's concerned, there's been lots of cases in Australia, many where sadly bodies were never found, but there have been many cases where bodies were found after quite a long time. Wasn't that Baden-Powell? Didn't it take quite a while to find the wife of Baden-Powell, who said she'd just walked away? Alison. Didn't it take quite a long time to find Alison Baden-Clay? Let's see. No, it was only 10 days to find Alison. There was a case that I've been talking about before. And it took literally 2 years, I think, to find this body. I can't remember her name. But she won't be the only one. Right, I'm going to have to change that search. Right, we've got one here, Lynette Dawson. Oh, they still haven't found her. Still haven't found Lynette Dawson. So there's definitely one where they did. Let's see. Is it Janelle Patton? Anyway, yeah, I can't find the lady that I'm thinking about. I think I did a video about it, but I've got to be honest, I just cannot remember. But anyway, let's carry on watching this video. It has happened where it's taken at least a year to find a body.
Yeah. Police won't say whether they will be back out searching today, but we do know, of course, that Samantha Murphy was last seen when she left her Ballarat home for a run in February last year. Patrick Oren Stevenson has been charged with her murder. He has pleaded not guilty ahead of his Supreme Court trial in April next year. Jane.
Christine, thank you.
Well, police will continue their latest search for the body of missing Ballarat mum Samantha Murphy, with new intelligence leading detectives to Enfield State Park. For more, criminologist Dr. Xanthi Mallet joins us live now from the Sunshine Coast. Good to see you this morning, Xanthi. So police are remaining tight-lipped about the nature of this latest intelligence. What do you suspect it might be?
Good morning. Well, certainly they wouldn't have initiated another search without intelligence leading them to this.
Yes, so apparently the reason why they've initiated this new search is new intelligence. Now, they will not say what it is. I mean, that could be anything, couldn't it? It could be a tip-off. It could be a new CCTV or a new data thing that has only just come to light. There's a million things. It could even be something that Patrick has said or one of his family or friends have said. So we don't know what the new intelligence is, but they said it is because of new intelligence. So, please God, let them find her.
Particular area, but there could be a number of sources. It could be a member of the public who's come forward with some information. It could be some information they've heard covertly, or it could be the accused has provided some information. So that's just a range of ways in which intelligence is gathered.
The accused maintains his innocence despite being charged with Samantha Murphy's murder and has not, up until now, as we believe, been helpful to police.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a member of the public, why would there be new information at this point?
Well, the police are routinely making calls for information. Samantha has been missing since February 2024, so they haven't stopped searching in that time. They've done periodic searches. So information comes forward at any time from the public, and they will action that when they feel it is relevant and useful to do so.
They're searching for a body, tragically, but what other evidence may they come across?
You know, maybe that somebody found something in this state park, you know, not actually Samantha's remains, obviously, but maybe somebody found something there and took it to the police and said, oh, I found this in the state. And then the police realised it was something to do with Samantha or something to do with him. So, you know, there's another possibility. There are a lot of, you know, we won't find out until the trial.
Potentially.
Well, really, they're looking for anything that could link to Samantha Murphy or the accused. So ultimately, yes, they are sadly looking for Samantha's remains at this stage. But if they come across anything else of forensic relevance, obviously, that could help the investigation, then that will be collected and triaged to further the case.
Samantha, as you know, I mean, these kinds of cases are always so heartbreaking, not just for the community, but especially for the family. In this case, Samantha's husband and daughter. I mean, it's so tragic for them to still not have answers.
Absolutely.
Samantha has 3 children, so it's not just her husband and daughter. So her husband, 2 daughters and 1 son.
When you speak to families, it's always the not knowing what happened, why and who is responsible that is the hardest thing for them. So ultimately, they will be hopeful that there will be evidence found today. And although it will be sad, we are looking for Samantha's remains, and that will bring them at least some resolution. So we're all hoping that this search is successful.
In your experience, Xanthi, obviously...
Yeah, it's cold comfort to find Samantha's remains. But the thing is, if they've already been told that she's deceased, they have had over a year now to try and come to terms with that. But they cannot come to terms with the fact that they don't have her home, that she's lying out there like a discarded bit of rubbish. This is just horrible. You know, even if they're starting to learn, they're never going to stop missing Samantha. They're learning that there's a new normal in that household, unfortunately, and they'll have learned at least to live with it. You know, because life does go on. You know, there's 3 children there that need a father. They've lost their mother, so Mick's had to carry on for them. You know, life does go on, and Samantha would want life to go on for them. But this cold comfort, or, you know, it is a cold comfort, but it is some comfort to bring Samantha home, just get her out of just lying there discarded. You know how you would feel about your loved one or whatever. It's bad enough that they've been taken away from you, but then to not know where they are, and, you know, like their bodies being desecrated by animals and the elements, etc. It makes it all even worse, doesn't it? So this boy, he has not cooperated, as far as we know, at all. So he's a double twonk. He's a twonk for what he's done. He's a twonk for what he's still doing. Every day that he's kept this family in misery, he should get an extra day on his sentence, as far as I'm concerned. What a twonk.
Trying to understand these kinds of criminal cases, what timeline would you give this in terms of finding Samantha's body?
It's really impossible to say. They've searched this area previously. It's only around 5 kilometres from where Samantha disappeared, but it is littered with mine shafts. So it is a very difficult area to search, and it's very difficult to give a timeline on that. Ultimately, when the police have a new area that is of forensic relevance or interest, they will search that. So hopefully this search will be successful, but if not, the police will keep looking.
Yeah, absolutely, they will. And let's hope that the family does receive the answers it...
Yeah, let's hope the family does receive the answers it deserves. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an update, if you like, on the search. They're not saying they finished searching, or that's not what's being said. Let's have a look. you know, there's no information so far coming up to say it's finished. The search is finished. So we have to presume they're continuing it. Let's hope they continue it over the weekend. I literally every couple of hours I'm on the Google to see if there's any news. But of course, it's coming to night time now in Australia, so it'd probably be, you know, if there's any more sort of news, it'll be later on today. It won't probably be, you know, soon. It'll be later on if there's anything. So we just carry on praying, don't we? Yeah, I think there is that rule, David. And David saying there should be a law if found guilty, nobody whereabouts is given it's a whole life term. I think it isn't that the rule in Australia. No, nobody, no parole. I know it is in a few places, but I'm not sure in Australia. You know, of course, all countries have their own laws. Just please God that they get a result, you know, that they find something that leads them to something else. I mean, you know, I can't see that he will have taken a great distance, really, can you? You can't think that he would have taken her a great distance away. Was she transported in his car? I mean, they'll have forensically tested his car, of course, so you know, they'll know, of course, they'll know if she had been transported in his car. I reckon they'll know that by now, don't you? Yeah, let's hope so anyway. Let's just pray for news. Let's pray for news. So I'm back soon with another live very shortly about a completely different subject. So in the meantime, thank you for caring about Samantha. And till I see you again very shortly, may your God go with you. Goodbye.